Our first guest is Tracy Brigden, the artistic director of City Theater. Talkin' Broadway called Tracy's Blackbird a near-perfect production that is one of the highlights of the Pittsburgh theater scene. Some of her other City Theater productions include Shooting Star, The Clockmaker, The Seafarer, and the world premieres of The Missionary Position and Christopher Durang's Mrs. Bob Cratchit's Wild Christmas Binge. Thanks for joining us, Tracy, and congratulations on starting your 10th season as artistic director.
Thank you. It's hard to believe it's already 10. It's flown by.
How did you go about putting together this special season?
Well, you know, we put together every season like it's a special season, really. And it's a complicated process at City Theater because, as you know, we do only shows that are 5 years old or younger, many world premieres, sometimes commissions that are plays written specifically for City Theater. And Carlin Aquiline, who's our literary manager, we read about 100 or more scripts a year to pick our 6 for our subscription season. And so it's usually a balance. We try to make it like a great meal, a little of something for everyone.
You must spend all of that time working to find these 6 perfect plays that go together. How do you decide which plays you're going to direct? And is it ever hard to give someone else this play to direct?
Well, hopefully you love every play so much that it is hard to give them up, and that's a great question because it's true. There's oftentimes that it's hard for me to select which one I want to do or which couple I want to do, but I can't direct them all, so I have to give up some of the children. You know, the way I end up selecting plays, first and foremost, I'm looking for a great story. I want a page turner. I want something I can't put down, that I really invest in the characters. Obviously, great writing, and that can, you know, be all different styles. And, you know, I really like to emotionally invest in the play, whether it's in laughter or tears or thought. We really try to engage the audience on an emotional level. And then after that, it's a matter of finding variety. I always like to try to find something that's dramatic, something that's comic, something maybe musical or about music, maybe something set in a historical time and something extremely topical that's kind of exploring the current zeitgeist. And that's one of the great things about doing such fresh new plays, is that many of the plays can really be up to the minute in terms of their topicality.
Well, you start with the 39 steps, and in an interview in the Trib a few years ago, you said that a marathon you could watch all day is an Alfred Hitchcock marathon. Does Hitchcock as a film director influence you as a theater director at all? And how might that influence affect the 39 steps?
Right. Well, certainly Hitchcock is obviously a master of suspense. And there are lots of moments in the theater that one is trying to create tension or suspense. So I'm sure he's influenced me in that way. You know, often you do end up feeling like as a director that you're directing something for a close-up or a long shot or a medium shot, and it kind of has to do with the staging and the intensity. So I think I do have a cinematic influence on my directing sometimes. But what's really great to be able to use in this production is that the 39 Steps is a sort of a satiric, a warm and loving satiric look at that film. And throughout, there's references to all the other Hitchcock films. And we're actually throwing a few more things in. So it's really helpful to have that knowledge of all the different movies at my disposal to be able to say, okay, let's throw in this thing. Oh, let's make it look like that moment in that film. So, you know, right now I think we have references to Psycho, The Birds, North by Northwest, and Rear Window. So I think it'll be fun for the people who can catch those.
There are 4 actors who play almost 100 characters. And mainly two of them play those large number of characters. Tell us about that experience with those actors having to change so often.
Well, we haven't gotten to the point yet because we've just had 1 week of rehearsal where we're worried about changing their clothes yet. That's a whole other thing we're going to work out during tech. And I think there'll be a lot of Velcro involved for all the quick changes of their costumes. But yes, it's particularly these 2 actors who are referred to as the clowns. And they play probably, 75 to 100 characters. And I've been blessed by these 2 extraordinary actors, Tom Beckett and Evan Zess. And they literally, their bodies transform, their voices transform. They have about 12 different dialects each, I think, in the show. And they're miraculous and hysterically funny. So I think it'll be a real joy to watch them do this kind of tour de force, chameleon-like performances.
Then you have the world premiere of the Morini Strad. How did you find the play?
You know, again, we get so many plays from writers out there through their agents and because we have relationships with them. And Willie Holtzman, who wrote that play, is a very known American theater writer, and so he normally sends us plays, or his agent sends us his plays. And it's just a perfect fit for the Hamburg space because it's a two-person play, and you want to be very intimately involved with this story. And it's such a perfect city theater kind of play because I think our audience really loves plays about relationships and plays about music. And this is about a classical music prodigy, a real woman named Erica Morini at the end of her life. And she wants to sell her beloved Stradivarius violin. She has to get it fixed first. So she meets a man who is the violin repairman, and they develop a very unlikely friendship. So it'll be just perfect for us to be in that little intimate space and watch that story unfold.
And then you have Marcus, or The Secret of Sweet. Tell us about that.
Sure. Terrell McCraney is, in my opinion, one of the hottest new writers on the American theater scene right now. And we did a play of his called The Brother-Sister Play, The Brother Size, which is part of a trilogy called The Brother-Sister Plays that he's written. And it's Brother Size, Marcus, and another play. So we're hoping to work our way through the trilogy. And Brother Size was received so incredibly well when we did it a couple of years ago that we just knew we had to bring another Terrell play to Pittsburgh. And I think Marcus is going to be just as well received. It's an extraordinary story.
Then you have Precious Little, a play about a linguist. How might language shape your vision of the play?
Well, you know, it's a fascinating play because it is a play about a linguist. It's about a woman who's a lesbian and has been artificially inseminated. She's wanted to have a baby for a very long time. And she finds out there might be something wrong with the baby. And so she struggles with the idea of having a child that she might not be able to communicate with, since communication is her whole life. And really the play explores communication in all its forms, both in the challenging way we have trouble communicating and the beautiful way we use communication to bridge bonds. And it's serious in certain ways, but it's incredibly topical, and the playwright has a wonderful sarcastic sense of humor, so it's very funny in parts as well.
Your play after that is The Amish Project, and the New York Times said that it's a remarkable piece of writing. It's a one-woman show about the Amish school shooting in '96. Tell us about how that works.
Well, the woman who wrote it, Jessica Dickey, also performs it. And I think one of the reviews I read, I didn't actually get to see the production in your, said that her performance is so amazing, it might make you forget how great her writing is. And it's really extraordinary. She again transforms herself, and she plays all the roles. She plays the Amish schoolgirl, she plays the gunman, she plays the gunman's wife, she plays the woman in the grocery store, everything. And she's just wearing, you know, an Amish schoolgirl outfit as she transforms. And in a way, it's a very simple staging of it, but the message is incredibly powerful. And it's really, the play is about redemption, it's about forgiveness, it's about moving on after a terrible tragedy. And so it's actually very uplifting, even though it sounds a little like a grim subject matter.
Then you close the season with Louder, Faster, and that's a commission from City Theater. How did the commission come about?
Well, City Theater has a long relationship with both Eric Simonson and Jeffrey Hatcher. They've written together for us Work Song, which was the play we did a couple of years ago about Frank Lloyd Wright, and they've both written other plays separately. And so I think one of them, or maybe both of them together, got the idea to write a play about George S. Kaufman, who's a famous playwright from the 20s and 30s, who wrote plays like You Can't Take It With You and The Royal Family that is being done at the Public this year.
And he's a Pittsburgher.
And he's a native Pittsburgher, exactly. So, but George S. Kaufman only ever wrote plays with a collaborator. So they imagined a scenario where George Kaufman has made a bet with Harpo Marx that he can't write a play by himself. And he comes back to Pittsburgh to try to write his great family drama. And of course, he finds himself in a Kaufman-like farce in Pittsburgh. So it was just a perfect fit for both their comic sensibility and Pittsburgh and City Theater.
Great. Well, good luck with what seems like a spectacular season.
Thank you. I think it'll be terrific.
City Theater's season opens with The 39 Steps, running October 16th through November 7th. For tickets, call 412-431-CITY or visit them online at citytheatercompany.org. Thanks so much for joining us, Tracy.
Thank you.